Did you know that inside your gut right now, there are hundreds of bacterial species that science has never even named? And some of them could be the key to whether you gain or lose weight, whether your blood lipids are healthy, and whether your body is silently inflamed. In March 2026, a groundbreaking study published in Nature, the most prestigious scientific journal in the world, identified for the very first time the 50 best and 50 worst gut bacteria linked to human health. Here is the truly astonishing part. Many of those species had never been seen by science before. Today, I am going to break down exactly what this research found, and more importantly, what you can do starting with your very next meal to improve your gut microbiome. Before we dive in, Lean Life does not provide medical advice. The content in this video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for diagnosis or treatment from a healthcare professional. Imagine walking into the Amazon rainforest and discovering 50 completely new animal species. That is exactly what the research team from the University of Trento and ZOE did. Except they were not in a rainforest. They were analyzing stool samples from over 34,000 study participants. For the last decade, we have heard so much about the gut microbiome, but there has been one massive problem. Nobody really knew what a healthy microbiome actually looked like. You have 500 bacterial species. I have 600. Who is better off? There was no way to measure it. This study changes that. For the first time, scientists ranked 661 of the most common gut bacterial species and identified the top 50. Species consistently found in people with healthy diets and strong metabolic markers, and the bottom 50. Species consistently linked to inflammation, elevated blood sugar, unhealthy cholesterol, and abnormal body fat distribution. The most fascinating part? Within that top 50 are bacterial species that science had never observed before. The researchers call this the dark matter of the microbiome. Bacteria that exist, whose DNA we can detect, but that nobody has ever been able to grow in a lab. Now pause for a moment. I have a question for you. How genetically similar do you think we are to each other? The answer is 99.9%. But when it comes to our gut microbiomes, we are only about 33% similar. That means each person has a nearly unique microbial fingerprint, and that is precisely why you need a massive amount of data to separate real signals from noise. Think of your gut as a city with trillions of bacterial residents. The good bacteria are specialists. They break down complex fiber and polyphenols from plants, producing compounds called short-chain fatty acids, molecules that fight inflammation, support your immune system, and protect your gut lining. The bad bacteria are opportunists. They thrive on simple sugars from ultra-processed foods. When they dominate, they trigger an inflammatory response throughout your body. And chronic inflammation is the foundation of most chronic diseases: type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and even certain cancers. Here is a concrete example. There is a gut bacterium that can convert a compound found in red meat into TMAO, a chemical that has been shown to damage blood vessels and increase the risk of heart disease. But this only happens if you eat red meat and also harbor that specific bacterium in your gut. This is the crucial insight. It is not just what you eat, it is how your gut microbiome processes what you eat. Now for the most important question. Can your gut microbiome actually change? The answer is yes. This study ran 2 randomized controlled trials, the gold standard in science. The first trial. 350 people were randomly split into 2 groups. One group followed standard U.S. dietary guidelines. The other followed Zoe's personalized nutrition program, based on this very microbiome research. After 12 to 18 weeks, the results were clear. The personalized nutrition group showed a significant increase in top 50 beneficial bacteria and a marked decline in bottom 50 harmful bacteria. Some of the bad species became completely undetectable. The second trial compared 3 groups, one taking a prebiotic supplement derived from 30 plant species, one taking a standard probiotic, and one taking a placebo. The results? The 30-plant prebiotic group showed dramatic shifts in their microbiome. Beneficial bacteria increased, harmful bacteria decreased. The probiotic group changed only one single bacterial species, the exact one in the pill, and the placebo group showed almost no change at all. What does this tell us? A single-strain probiotic is like dropping one fish into the ocean. A diverse plant-based prebiotic is like planting an entire forest. At this point, you might be thinking, so I can just take a fiber pill and call it a day? No. One type of fiber feeds only 1 to 3 bacterial species, but you need hundreds of species. That is why plant diversity is the real key. Every different fiber, every different polyphenol feeds a different group of bacteria. And each group of bacteria produces different beneficial compounds for your body. This research goes even further. The scientists did not stop at identifying good and bad bacteria. They grouped them into 4 specific health clusters. Cluster 1, inflammation. Certain bacteria are strongly linked to inflammatory markers in the body. Inflammation is the root of aging and disease. If you can control inflammation, you can control the pace at which you age. Cluster 2, blood sugar control. These are the bacteria that influence how your body responds to carbohydrates. 2 people can eat the exact same bowl of rice and have completely different blood sugar responses, and a big part of that is their gut microbiome. Cluster 3, cardiovascular health and cholesterol. This is not just about total cholesterol. It is the entire complex lipid profile. Some bacteria can help lower LDL cholesterol and improve your lipid ratios. Cluster 4, body composition. These bacteria relate to how your body distributes fat. Being thin does not automatically mean being healthy. Fat distribution is what matters. Visceral fat around your abdomen is far more dangerous than subcutaneous fat. When you analyze your microbiome, you do not just get a single number. You learn, is your microbiome skewed toward inflammation or not? Is it supporting healthy blood sugar control? Is it helping or hurting your cardiovascular health? Have you ever heard of the 30 plants per week rule? This is not a random number. Research from the American Gut Project showed that people who eat more than 30 different types of plants each week have significantly more diverse gut microbiomes than those who eat fewer than 10. Every plant brings a different combination of fiber and polyphenols. Dark leafy greens, insoluble fiber and folate. Berries, anthocyanins, the polyphenols that give them their purple and red colors. Onions and garlic, inulin, a powerful prebiotic. Legumes, resistant starch and plant protein. Coffee, chlorogenic acid, a polyphenol that is especially beneficial for gut bacteria. What are polyphenols exactly? They are the compounds that give plants their colors and bitter flavors. About 80% of the polyphenols you consume travel to your large intestine, where your gut bacteria feed on them and convert them into highly bioactive compounds, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and protective of your blood vessels. Here is a fascinating real-world example. Menopausal women and soy. Many women take soy isoflavones to reduce menopausal symptoms like hot flashes. But the results vary dramatically. Some women experience clear relief, others almost nothing. Why? Because isoflavones require a specific gut bacterium to convert them into their most potent active form, a form that binds to estrogen receptors many times more strongly. If you lack that bacterium, soy does almost nothing for you. Research shows that women who harbor this bacterium experience up to a 75% greater reduction in menopausal symptoms compared to those who do not. This is the clearest proof yet. It is not what you eat. It is what your microbiome does with what you eat. There is a simple trick that almost nobody talks about: resistant starch. When you cook potatoes, rice, or pasta, and then let them cool, a portion of the starch converts into resistant starch. This is a type of starch your body cannot digest in the small intestine. It travels straight to your large intestine and becomes food for your beneficial bacteria. And here is the really interesting part. When you reheat it, the resistant starch retains its structure. So, reheated leftover rice is actually better for your gut than freshly cooked rice. For people who eat rice as a staple at nearly every meal, this is incredibly valuable information. A bowl of rice left in the fridge overnight and reheated the next morning will not only spike your blood sugar less, it will also nourish your gut bacteria. If you have ever taken antibiotics, you know the feeling. Fatigue, digestive issues, sometimes diarrhea that lasts for days. That is because antibiotics cannot tell the difference between good and bad bacteria. They wipe out everything. But this study reveals something even more concerning. Antibiotics tend to kill good bacteria more aggressively than bad bacteria. Why? Because bad bacteria are generalists. They learn drug resistance faster. Good bacteria are specialists. They are more vulnerable. So after antibiotics, what should you do? First, a diet rich in diverse plants. This is the fastest way to rebuild your population of beneficial bacteria. Second, social interaction. This might sound strange, but another study, also published in Nature, showed that we constantly exchange bacteria with the people around us. Children in daycare share up to 15% of their microbiome with their classmates after just a few months. Pet owners also receive bacteria from their animals. This could be one of the reasons that blue zones, the places where people live the longest on Earth, all share one common trait: strong social bonds. So, from everything we have covered, here are 5 specific actions you can start today. Number 1. Count how many different plant species you eat each week. Your target is 30. This includes vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds, whole grains, herbs, and spices. A single bowl of pho with scallions, herbs, bean sprouts, lime, and chili already gives you 5 to 6 species. Number 2, add diversity, do not subtract. The science shows that when you focus on adding good foods, the bad bacteria get crowded out naturally. You do not have to completely eliminate the foods you love. Number 3, take advantage of resistant starch. Leftover rice, cold sweet potatoes, reheat them and eat them. A small habit with an outsized impact. Number 4, after antibiotics, prioritize recovery. Double your intake of diverse plants for at least 4 weeks after a course of antibiotics. Do not just take a probiotic. Give your good bacteria food to grow. Number 5, do not waste your money on single-strain probiotics. Unless prescribed by a doctor for a specific condition, most probiotics on the market contain only a few bacterial strains, and as the research shows, they barely make a meaningful difference in your overall microbiome. Spend that money on fresh fruits and vegetables instead. Remember this: for the last decade, we have talked about the gut microbiome as a vague concept. This study changes the game. For the first time, we have a concrete measure of gut health. And more importantly, we have evidence that dietary changes genuinely improve it. You do not need to understand metagenomics or short-chain fatty acids. You just need to remember, the more plant species on your plate, the more beneficial bacteria in your gut. And those bacteria will work for you, reducing inflammation, regulating blood sugar, protecting your heart, and supporting a healthy body weight. The question I want to leave you with today: how many different plant species did you eat this past week? Try counting and share your number in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to Lean Life so you do not miss the latest evidence-based health knowledge. Once again, Lean Life does not provide medical advice. Please consult your doctor before making any major changes to your diet, especially if you have an underlying health condition or are taking medication. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.